Were there settlements? How many actually settled out of court? How much money? Who has the property now? Who owns the bulk? Does Les Wexner have anything to do with this? Does anybody? Do we know anything about this? No. The questions I just gave you, the few couple of questions, nobody's going to answer. Nobody wants it. We don't. So do me a favor. Just stop this. Stop pretending that people care about this. Because nobody does. Nobody. Now look at this one. You're going to love this story. CBS News pulls 60-minute story on Trump sending Venezuelans to El Salvador prison and torturing them. This is from Drudge. Promoted, then erased photo teaser. Now, did you hear this story? This is a big deal. Barry Weiss spiked our story, apparently. News organizations say the segment about El Salvador prison, where Trump administration sent deportees, needed additional reporting. CBS News pulled a planned 60-minute segment on El Salvador maximum security prisons, where the Trump administration sent hundreds of Venezuelan migrants. A last-minute decision that drew a rebuke from one of its high-profile correspondents. Okay, let's stop for a second. Do you understand? I just answered the question regarding Epstein. You know that there's nothing going to happen with that, right? You know that. There's just nothing. I mean, nothing is going to happen. Nothing. There's no more lawsuits. There's no more. Ghislaine Maxwell, she'll be eventually released. She'll go back to wherever. They probably told her, listen, Ghislaine, watch what you say. Your family, they've got a bunch of them still alive. If you want to keep it like that, just watch what you say. Do your time. And then whatever money you squirreled away, or whoever wants to send $1 billion your way, keep it in mind. I said, okay, fine. Now, one person never said, you mean to tell me there's been nobody charged with anything? She went to prison for what? For trafficking, and she's trafficked with whom? Nobody? Stop bringing up Epstein. You don't care about Epstein. You don't want to talk about Epstein. Epstein is not your concern. Epstein is not your concern. You know it, and I know it. So stop it. Seriously. It is so beyond boring. Because nobody will ever answer the question. Next. True or false? What has been the most embarrassing thing that President Trump has ever done? Now understand something. I love the guy. All right? He's like I don't know, he's kind of like a crazy uncle or something. He kind of, you know what I mean? You just say, well, that's the way he is. Because the good that he's done is just terrific. But I thought to myself, two things. People went berserk with this, you know, the building on, the adding on to the White House of the East Wing. Okay, fine. That to me was no big deal. The tackiest thing I saw ever was having the Oval Office in gold letters outside the Oval Office. You've got to be kidding. You've got the West Wing in gold. And the Walk of Fame. An actual photo montage of all of the presidents, Millard Fillmore, John Tyler, with a little plaque. And then with Obama, there was a lot of dissent. I mean, it is the tackiest thing anybody has ever seen. I love the guy, though, but come on. Please. He doesn't care. How about the UFC match on the backyard, as they say? How about that? Any problem with that? UFC match. Maybe, I don't know if they're still going to do it. At the White House. Outside. In like a tent. Really? In the White House. All right. Okay, fair enough. Maybe. I guess you could do that. But the one that really got me more than anything else, and I guess it's just a matter of Trump just figures, I'm going to do whatever I want to do to drive these people crazy. When Rob Reiner died, remember his now infamous his post was terrific. But the Kennedy Trump Center, no. 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 No, sir, please. No. 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 No, sir. No. Oh, my God. No. That's the one where I said, you've got to be kidding me. Seriously. As people would say, dude, what? Don't ask me why. I would have said, I can't do that. This is, no. And the thing about it is that people that I know who are big Trump supporters say, well, nobody cares. Oh, I don't know about that. Not that it matters because he's a lame duck. But the thing is that you would think there would be this thing called legacy. Legacy. And there's got to be something that maybe he could put outside, those spotlights they have like at premieres, they have these lights that cross. Maybe he can do that. Maybe a marquee. The Trump administration opens in 2016. So my question is, first question, because I got to tell you this, is there anything he's done where you said, okay, that's, not that it's the end of the world, not that you think, okay, that's it, I think we as a civilization have come to a screeching halt. No.
Smash the like button. 14 people. Smash the like button. Thank you.
I mean, seriously. Mr. President, please.
Love you all. Happy holidays, and also, God bless you all.
What do you want to happen regarding Epstein? What do you think is going to happen? Let's go to Mickey. Mickey, who's calling from a place called Queens, New York. You're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Good morning.
Yes.
I love to hear you speaking, and besides my mother, you're in competition with her vocabulary.
Well, thank you.
The vocabulary was mainly in Spanish, but
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm honored to be included within your beloved mother.
Thank you. And she helped my father write his book.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I have two stories about a friend of mine that was a drug addict. He lived in Westchester, so what he would do, I'm talking about the panhandling you were talking earlier.
Panhandling, yes.
Yeah, he will get on the, he worked in an office, but he'll get on the train with a white shirt, his white shirt and his tie, and he'll tell the passengers that he just lost his wallet. And, being an attractive man and he's dressed nicely, he has a nice shirt, he collected money to go and get his heroin. And then yes, that was very sad. Then the second thing he did also involved a jumping turnstile. He managed to to steal a vest of the MTA and a hat.
Interesting.
So yes.
Now let me ask you something. How did you know he did this? Did you see him do this, or did he tell you this?
No, I saw him. He asked me to meet him on 14th Street in Manhattan. And he said, just come to one of the benches. So when I came in, I didn't see nobody looked like him. So I decided to come over. And there he was. He turned his face. And there he was with his hard hat, the shoes. He said, they think that he just waved to the...
Was he at all embarrassed by this?
No, he was sort of chuckle a little bit.
So anyway, he tells you, he says, meet me on 14th Street. And then when you met him, what did he ask you for money, or what was the purpose of meeting him?
I forgot if I had to give him money. I don't know why, because I was going to work in Jamaica. No, he was, maybe he just wanted me to see him in the wardrobe.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's very interesting, and I thank you for that. I don't know where that's going. One of the perennial questions I think most of us ask is, do you believe that you're doing something wrong? And Ed Koch, through his wonderful moments of inspiration, Ed Koch said, never, ever, ever help give people money, because what you're doing is you're actually encouraging this. Do you believe this? Do you think this helps anyone? Aren't you aiding anybody? Do you honestly think that anybody is looking for food? Are you doing something which actually encourages the problem? Our number is 800-848-9222. We have talked about tonight a veritable potpourri, a pastiche, a myriad, a mosaic, a cornucopia of topics, everything you could possibly imagine. And the only thing that is missing is your brilliance. This is Lionel with you on the other side of midnight.
The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel. This holiday season, some children will wake up to quiet homes and nothing under the tree. Since 1947, the Marines and volunteers for Toys for Tots have delivered more than 700 million toys, bringing joy, dignity, and hope to children in need across America. Your gift of a new unwrapped toy or a donation online reminds every child they are seen, valued, and loved, because every child deserves a little Christmas. Visit toysfortots.org to give today.
Did you know you can help regrow cartilage in your joints, ligaments, connective tissue, and joints weaken with age? All because our natural production of a particular protein declines, leaving you vulnerable to injuries. Scientifically proven, this overlooked nutrient can help rebuild connective tissue, strengthen joints, and support mobility. Not having enough of this protein was once considered to be an irreversible step in the progression of joint pain. Until now, just go to getnativepath.com/bow and get up to 45% off today. GETNATIVEPATH.com/bow.
The 77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Angiuli and Gentili chime time is 422. For 40 years, the Staten Island law firm of Angiuli and Gentili has been helping people just like you. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is John Katsimatidis. I own a lot of companies, but my favorite, WABC Radio. We have been certified by Nielsen to be the #1 talk station in the country. Advertising? If you advertise with WABC, you will be a winner too. Why don't you email me at CATS, C-A-T-S, at WABCradio.com, and you advertise with winners. You become a winner. Email me at CATS at WABCradio.com.
New York proud, New York loud, with New York attitude. All here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. It's The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
I don't know. But I've often, the whole Dr. Seuss thing, never got it. I know I'm spending too much time. Some of these things have the opposite effect on me. This one just left me flat. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, remember that animated thing as a kid? Always bothered me. Remember the Abominable Snowman? Kind of scary. It's like, what is the purpose of this? Here's one for you. I hate to say this. I know this may sound sacrilegious.
Yes, radio's still going strong.
Charlie Brown.
Whether you like it or not, he's still going strong.
Who are these people? But great
So
music.
thank you, OG.
Garardi or that jazz, Linus and Lucy.
Cy Brown.
Hey,
There you go.
Good.
Excellent
grief.
comment.
And there's a whole Snoopy thing. I love Snoopy.
Happy holidays to you, my
Snoopy
friend.
ever do? By the way, you know that Snoopy, there's a story behind Snoopy. Remember the Royal Guards and Snoopy and the Red Baron? And anyway, when I was a kid, Snoopy was a big deal. And he sat on top of the house and he said, Schultz was such a great, it was a genius. It was the dumbest, we couldn't draw. It was the most stupid story. You got this, remember this poor kid, who was the black kid that they added at the last minute?
Oh, by the way, I hated fucking Snoopy.
What's wrong with
I
that
think
kid?
Snoopy sucks ass. There you
Frank
go.
is like, what are you doing here? Well, I'm
Fuck Snoopy.
joking, Then there was Pigpen or the Dust or the, I don't even know what this is about. But there are certain things, I hate to say it, I just never, I don't understand. Is this funny? I saw a story the other day of Mad Magazine. Oh my God, Mad Magazine. I loved Mad. I loved, if that could somehow be a cartoon, which of course it couldn't. I loved the Warner Brothers and Bugs Bunny, and I thought they were so smart. But Charlie Brown? And I just, and in particular Snoopy. What the hell is this? Does it say anything? Does it do anything? It's just there. Maybe it's got a hat. Hey, look, I'm a Red Baron. Okay, all right. And I always thought, if anything, that this Charlie Brown reminded me kind of like of a precursor to some kind of a mental patient. Can't you see Charlie Brown going crazy, like losing it?
Charlie Brown
Somebody
was a
pushes
pussy.
him a little too hard one day. Let's go to Musa.
Charlie Brown was a
Musa
closet
in New York. You're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Gaylord.
Good morning.
Sorry.
Well, maybe to you it is, but I like Musa. Musa is like Mucilix. It sounds like either a breakfast cereal or a decongestant. Anyway, Musa, welcome, sir.
How you doing? I had a dog my father gave to us. We had him for years.
By the way, what kind of name is Musa?
After the Prophet Musa.
The Prophet Musa? Help me out with this one. What religion is the Prophet Musa?
Islam.
Okay, you got to tell me. I don't know. Call me
There you go,
stupid.
religion of peace.
I want to learn. I want to learn.
He's far from stupid.
No. But I'm saying I want to learn. I want to learn from these things. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Right. We had a dog. I think that we should have put him down a couple years earlier prior with his death like that.
Why?
But we didn't put him down. Because we had to pick him up and carry him down the steps, up and down the steps. He can't barely walk. He lost his eyesight. He was real old.
You got to get. It's funny you say that. There's this thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. I knew people who had this one. I knew one person who had this dog. That everything you can imagine wrong with this dog. Blind, had seizures, didn't know where he was. He would bark at nothing. Couldn't go up the stairs. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm with you. Isn't it cruel for us to say?
Yeah, I think it's worse to keep them alive. They suffering.
But are they suffering? What if the dog says, "Hang on, Musa, now hang on a minute. I may look bad, but you know what? I'm doing all right. You're picking me up. You're moving me around. I can't see anything, but I'm eating, and you know what? Things can be better, but I'm not doing too bad. Don't kill me." And then you say, "Oh, no. This poor. Look at this poor." How do you know what the dog is thinking?
Exactly.
Unless the dog is like screaming in pain.
I agree.
How do we know?
Yeah, he was. Pretty much he was. We should have put him down.
So let me ask you the question. Why didn't you?
My grandma.
What is she? Is she sadistic?
No, she loved the dog, and then I couldn't do that to my grandmother.
But I know, but you think somebody would say, "Now, Grandma, now look, it's me, Musa."
Plenty of times I told her.
Yeah, but the dog is in pain, and it's a very, very simple.
Even humans blind, are you gonna put him out?
And also, not to belabor the point,
I'm sorry.
but
I think
the thing that we give the dog, it does a very good job putting the dog, 99.
She used to tell me, "Well, what you gonna do with me? You gonna put me down?"
As a matter of fact, Grandma, I'm glad you brought that up. The answer is yes. Yes.
No. I saw a documentary. I don't know if I can name the network, but I saw a documentary years ago, like in the 90s. There was a guy panhandling in the city, and he drove around in a brand new BMW.
Yeah.
Right. And also in South Patterson, I don't know. Recently, they still doing it, but they drop off these women in South Patterson, and they gypsies, and they come in school buses, and they get dressed like a Muslim woman with their kids they come out the bus with kids and they, you know, my husband beats me, my husband left me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they got caught. Somebody took pictures of them.
Well, yeah.
And every time the bus come up, yeah, they get rid of them.
By the way, two things. Number one is 30 past the hour. I got to say that. And the second thing is, have you seen these fake Buddhist monks in Times Square with the saffron? Come on, man.
I think, well, that's crazy because in the 90s, when I used to come into Manhattan and you stop at a red light, the guy come up with the Windex and paper towel.
Oh, I know. That's the squishy
$1.
And by the way, you just said something which I love. Manhattan. That's that glottal L. I love that. A lot of people pronounce that no T whatsoever. We just eliminate the L. Now, listen, I got one for you. Listen to this, Musa. You're going to dig this. There's this guy, Dr. Philip Nitschke. Kind of sounds like Ray Nitschke. I don't know if this is the Australian-born founder of Exit International. This is a nonprofit that provides guidance on assisted suicide. Okay? Listen to this thing he's got. He has got something called the Exit Kairos Collar, the Kairos Collar. Let me tell you what this thing does. This collar that you wear, it puts pressure. You got to hear this. You got to hear this one. Oh, here we go. Dr. Nitschke, this is from the Daily Mail, calls the Kairos, Kairos, collar. And what it is it puts pressure against the carotid arteries and baroreceptors in the neck, cutting off blood flow to the brain and causing the wearer to lose consciousness before dying. So you put this thing on, and it puts you like in a sleeper, like in a carotid restraint. You pass out, and then you die. And there's a device that they can put on you. Now let me ask you this question. I don't know what your religion feels about this, but would you ever be in favor of euthanasia for humans? If they were in pain, if they wanted it, if they were sick or at the end of their life. What is your thought regarding that?
Well, if I was at the end of my life and I'm in pain, no, I wouldn't do it. But I can't, you know, what people do, people do.
Wait a minute. If you were at the end of your life and you were in pain, you say you could not do it?
I wouldn't do it.
Why is that?
Because that's something like, it's almost like suicide.
It is suicide. It is suicide. What do you mean like? It is. It's exactly what it is. It's called euthanasia. But
it is suicide.
It's not like you're putting a gun to your head or whatever. So
no.
They're going to leave it like that. But to me, it's like, it's suicide. So
it is suicide. Well, what you're doing is...
my religion, that's not accepted.
Oh, okay, fine. But the way I look at it, you are dying. It's not that you're 30 years old and you had a little letdown.
I wouldn't do it.
We're at the end.
I wouldn't do it. Even if I was a Muslim, I wouldn't do it.
I would do it so fast to make your head spin. Provided, of course, I was of the belief and of a situation. Oh, without a doubt, everybody that I've ever known, everybody from the beginning of everywhere, everybody's told me, listen, don't let me go like that. What does that mean? Grandma, you know what I mean. Don't let me go like that. Don't let me hooked up to something. People have living wills and all this other kind of jazz. And the point is, you think to yourself, well, what are we supposed to do?
I'm only going to make one exception about that.
First of all, I think that suicide, number one.
That vegetative state shit, yeah, take me out.
You are in charge of your body and your
I don't want to be a vegetative state shit.
So, forgive me.
I'm sorry for that.
I don't have a religion to back up on.
Take me out.
I think that you don't want to do that prior to it because life is.
That's the only exception I have.
Not now.
If I'm in an incapacitated state like a
the totality,
fucking coma or vegetated, yeah. Take me out. There you go. I don't want to go through that.
You don't do this
unless
you get to the point where you are absolutely at wit's end. Now, The other part is they said, well, maybe
Hell
we
no.
should worry about and removing those individuals who might be depressed.
Then he could take me
Those
out.
individuals who evince and indicate a level of depression, maybe they should be removed from any kind of statutory calculus that would allow them to do it. Well, I would say yes, depression would disenable them or remove them. But what happens if, and this is important, what happens if it's that depression, as we say, what if the depression is something that provided I don't know what the word is. If the depression came from your being ill and you're being sick, not that you're depressed because you've got some kind of a non-specific kind of a dopamine imbalance, some serotonin, but the fact that you're in such pain, that will depress you. So anyway, it's a fascinating. It's certainly up to you and your maker. But as far as I'm concerned, oh, absolutely not. No way. Eric in Finland. You're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Hey, my parents lived in a house up in Rockland. My mother
And
had
you're
two
in
cats.
Finland. You're in Finland as we speak.
Yes, I'm in Finland, working remotely. Exactly.
Wow.
It's not snowing here. There's no snow here anymore. Winter's over here up in the Arctic zone. You get no snow.
You speak
But
Finnish?
the cat thing, kyllä mä puhun ihan sujuvaa suomea. Sure I do.
You do when you clean. You know you could have said anything. That could have been Tarzan gibberish for all I know. We don't know what Finnish is. So you could do that boom shakalaka like a boom shakalaka. You could do Tina Turner. Anyway, go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
So Mom has two cats. She started feeding the neighborhood cats and the feral cats, and then it got out of control. There's about 40 cats hanging around the house. So my father buys one of these like a live trap to catch them. It took him weeks to catch a few, and then the ASPCA up in Pomona was full. They wouldn't take any more cats. So he ended up, for 6 months, bringing cats up the Palisades Parkway and dropping them off around Bear Mountain. And which is about 10 miles away. None of them came back except for one. One came back 10 miles away. It came back, it was sunning itself on the roof, and he put his foot down and told my mother, no more feeding cats, and that was the end of that. They moved somewhere else. I heard the lady talking about the beggar. Now, I don't know, this might ring a bell with some people. If you took the 4, 5, or 6 line in Manhattan in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a guy. He had a below-the-waist amputation. He was on a skateboard, and he had pads on both hands.
Yes.
And he'd go up and down the corridor, and I gave him $5 every time I saw him because there's no mirrors.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember that guy, too.
Actually, he needed that money.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
That was my 2 cents.
Now let me ask you a question. Why did he need it merely because he has no legs? If he had legs and was in exactly the same financial strait, then you would have said, sorry, I'm not going to give you the money.
Yeah, that's kind of one of these humanistic kind of nuances. I think if you have arms and legs, you can do something besides begging. Maybe so. That's my own kind of moralistic.
Yeah, I think he was doing dope too. But
well, I appreciate the fact. Let me tell you one story.
But yeah, that guy, I seen them.
Years ago, in 1994, I was on the
He had like a
WABC.
skateboard.
You know, it's so funny how people do not know here.
He had no legs.
WABC.
He would just go on the subway.
I don't know what they think. Anyway.
Waist up.
There was a fellow in
on
New
a skateboard.
Jersey. He was in
he asked for money.
Hillside, New Jersey. His name was Frank Balin.
Black guy.
B-A-L-I-N.
I remember that guy.
And he was a World War II
wow.
tail gunner, if I recall, or turret gunner or something. But anyway, what happened was he was charged with animal cruelty for killing a rat that was raiding his garden. Let me tell you what happened. He was a 69-year-old gardener, and he had this, again, World War II veteran, and he had these rats that were eating his tomatoes. So what he did was he called, he got one of these safe, clean traps, whatever the hell you call it. And he put it on his garden, and lo and behold, he gets the rat. There it is, yay! So he brings it inside, and he calls the ASPCA and says, can you come pick this up? It was a rat. Let me say this again. A rat, not a cat, not a dog. It was a rat that you catch in a trap or a glue trap, or you ever see a rat caught in a trap where that bar comes down? One time, we had one, and this bar caught this poor rat right on the curione. And these things blew up it's like, wow, what a way to go. Testicles huge because of the pressure. What a way to go. So anyway, now remember, that would have been okay. Now think about this. That would have been okay to have set a trap. But Frank says, no, I'm going to do the right thing. So he has this rat, lo and behold, this cage, and lo and behold, there's a rat, or whatever it is. Calls the ASPCA, sorry, we can't pick it up. Well, what do I do? Well, just hang on to it, we'll be by tomorrow. Okay. Well, as he's on the phone, he looks, and this thing is getting out. It's somehow, you know how a rat, if he can put his head through something, the body goes. And the kid, his grandson, says, Grandpa, he's getting out. So he's thinking, he calls back again, hey, can you hurry up? Can you please come by? He's getting out of the cage. I'm sorry, we can't. So Frank, not knowing what to do, being at wit's end, killed the rat with a stick. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to do. Okay, when I called him, we called him, we would talk to him all the time on the phone. Okay. The case went all over. Oh, before I forget. So anyway, so when the ASPCA came up and said, okay, where's the rat? He says, well, he's here. He said, what happened to him? He said, oh, I had to kill him. You what? I said, well, I had to kill him because he was going to get out and bite my ground. He goes, you killed him? I said, it's a rat. It's a rat that I didn't want to, but I could have put him in a rat trap. They charged him with animal cruelty. And this local judge, he's called from all over the world. I mean, as I talked to the judge, who was at a gas station at the time, and he says, you can't believe people are saying you can't do this. Anyway, they dismissed the case. So here's the part, this is the part that kind of goes back to your psychotic case of kind of like I call it ambulatory morality. You look at the guy, I'll give him the money because you know this, because he's dead, because he's got no legs, as opposed to in a wheelchair, and I check for mirrors. What do you think it is, Forrest Gump? You think it's Colonel Dan, Lieutenant Dan? Or are you looking for like some kind of prop, some kind of a street performer? So anyway, but we apply all this quick calculus in your brain. You go through this and you add them all up. So here is this, we're looking at this thing, it's a rat. Vermin. And by the way, the people who love these cats, you heard the one woman says, well, we keep cats outside to keep the, quote, field mice so they can eat and attack and eviscerate and chomp on these. That's okay. But this poor bastard, he catches a rat in a cage and he only killed it because it was anyway.
Oh, come on, who took away my like? I have 4 likes, now I got 3.
Created by God to
come on, man, that's cheesy, man. What the hell, man?
It's the
come on, man.
Put
the lights up.
We
what
like
the hell,
them,
man?
They're cute.
Wow.
It's systematic.
Fucking petty, man.
What about this? Cats, cute.
Petty little
dogs,
bitch
cute.
you are.
Pigs.
Whoever took the light down, you're a little petty bitch.
Yeah. Mules.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Fox. No.
Fucking
Slimy.
lame,
Bears. Not really. Seals. Shrimp. Chickens. We have
trying to get every fucking like and you're going to take it down too?
Okay.
Wow. What a petty little bitch.
And it has to do with...
Shit, no.
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, flying mice, bats. Nobody likes those. They come in the house, you got to kill it right away.
Right. They're the most wonderful. They're wonderful. They don't hurt
Thank you for replacing the like.
You know,
awesome.
Rabbits.
Hey,
they're
crank it up. Thank you.
For vermin and for bugs, and they don't hurt anybody.
I guess somebody who didn't like my content and got anal about it and took down my like.
Basically like a rat. It's just they're all over the place and they crap on the.
Wow.
But what I'm saying is, we look at these things and I will never understand. So by the same token, somebody said one time, there was a fellow named Anthony name is Anthony Zimmern. He does this weird foods or whatever it was. He says one of the best meats he's ever had is mule, or I get mule, jackass, burro. I don't know which one's which. It's like hare, rabbit, who knows. Anyway, he said it's one of the best meats ever. And people will look and say, mule, no. Horse, definitely no. But
he's a lot of shit though. That Zimmern guy.
Quick question.
Oh my God, he's like fucking bull balls.
And you were a carnivore. Would you have any problem with eating cat?
Oh my God, he ate that man. He had everything.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's been the Travel Channel.
We have a winner. Let me go to the prize.
Yeah, Anthony Zimmern. What's his name?
Don't tell me it tastes like chicken.
Is it Anthony? No.
What was that like?
No, it doesn't.
Tony. Anyway, Zimmern. Yeah, that guy. Oh my God.
It's not gamey, but it's
he had guinea pigs.
It's not.
Oh my God! How can you eat a pet?
It's just a little sinewy.
Oh my God! Yeah, that guy.
How can we put it?
Freaking bull balls.
So it's not smooth, and it's just strange, and that was enough for me.
If you did not know what it was,
oh my God!
And if somebody said it's whatever it was, some weird cut of lamb or something, would you have said, oh, okay?
No way.
Or you knew something was up, right?
Yeah, I knew. It's just if you have consumed meat your whole life of different types, you know right away. As soon as you bite into this is something else. This is not rattlesnake. This is not snake. This is not beef. This is not pork. This is not chicken. This is something else. And then you start digging in deeper, and then you find out what it is, and then you've done it, and that's it.
So you didn't know what this was?
Well, we had a table full of stuff, bowls, and you got little chopsticks.
Right.
And someone told me after I ate it, but I already knew that this is something that I haven't had before. So
that man drank blood.
Mind over matter.
He went to Ethiopia.
I don't understand it. I don't understand how
he drank blood straight from a cow.
Cannibalism. If somebody were to say rat,
like,
here's one for you. Which
in Ethiopia, what they do is they poke the fucking cow in the neck.
In Mexico,
and it pours out the blood. He drank it right there.
Bugs, crickets,
right there. Fresh, hot blood off the
little nutty
cow's neck.
Wonderful, little nutty.
He put in a cup and he drank that shit. One of the wooden, whatever the fuck. Yo, that man is sick.
Crunchy.
I want. Oh my God, the raw blood. Straight from the cow. Oh my God. Hell no.
Crab.
Hell no, you will never pay me to do that.
And I don't understand.
Hell no.
You can have a lobster burger, or you can have a locust burger.
Yeah.
And, the consistency is pretty the same.
But not only that, though, it's the idea that we put into our minds this crazy kind of thing, and we look down on it. I remember one time there was I don't know why this was funny. They went around the world, and they were asking people to try this, like certain things that. I forget what it was, where the country was. But these kids looked at peanut butter. Now, let your imagination run with this one. Looked at it and said, oh, no way. No way. He goes, no, try it. And they hated everything. The smell, they had peanuts, but they never knew it was ground. And it made them sick. I thought, isn't that interesting? That's kind of the way we are with certain things. Liver was something... Awesome. Liver was something I could never.
Hell yeah, liver. Hell
when I ate meat, but the few times I ever had it, it was minerally. It's like eating a penny.
Oh hell.
Weird. But then again,
liver is like kryptonite to me. I will never eat liver.
I'll tell you right now.
No
was
way.
World European consumer.
Hell
everything
no.
Animal has on it. Ham hocks.
No liver for me. Hell no.
Kidney. Oh my! The whole apartment stunk when he was frying up the kidneys with the onions. The guy ate everything. He ate, lamb brain. I never got into that.
Well, I had brain one time.
He was old school.
Right.
And he went. Well, his father was like in his 90s, and he was in his 80s. So it's like it didn't have any.
Well, I have I'm sorry. Have you ever had sweetbreads, thymus, tripe? there's not.
Oh, yeah.
Tripe is wonderful. There's a wonderful consistency. I don't understand. What about things like duck, goose? I guess I'm trying to think of they had in the old days swans, and so I don't. In my head, I have absolutely the bottom line to me is with the exception of cannibalism, I draw the line. Human consumption, no. But I don't understand why that is. But it goes back to what I'm saying. The reason why I believe God had a sense of humor said, watch this. I'm going to create these things that are kind of like lower form criminals that they will somehow feel associated with. They'll become beasts of burden. They'll change things and they'll help with industry. But they're going to lose their minds. You ever look at people, they look at dogs and they say, look, they love me. Dog doesn't look. What do you mean love? How dare you minimize the nuance of love?
Well, yeah, I know, Edie.
fMRI
It's that simple, exactly.
On these dogs, and they basically,
Frank.
Whenever your dog smelled you or thought of you or saw you.
I'm just telling my thoughts, but it's okay.
Part of the brain. It was like,
I welcome your comments. And no eating. Of course I'm not going to eat it.
I mean, I had a buddy who ate squirrel and woodchucks.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
yeah. Woodchucks and chocolate, no thanks. I can see why Americans don't eat.
Although I did eat tripe.
Eat squirrels in Virginia.
Soup.
Carolina, when I was living down
it's
there.
like the innards.
It wasn't too bad, but it's not.
Actually, it was not bad. Ecuadorian household.
Lawn. My father goes, "I'll give you 20."
They made soup out of it, and it was not actually pretty freaking good.
So
you know what? I will tolerate some things, but not everything.
And then the smoke started coming out of from every little shack and little hole in the whole neighborhood.
There you go.
The department came over.
Plus, I was hungry. I was hungry that night.
Said, listen, we're gonna call your father. You're in big trouble. You're making fires and the smoke all over the neighborhood.
I was really hungry that night.
When he retired,
and that soup tasted really good.
He was yelling at the neighbor who was catching him in the trap. And then dumping them into a barrel of water.
But you know what?
Oh, yeah. See, that's where.
Yeah, you know what?
I agree with you. Because when your father retired, he was treated like he was at the end of his worth. And he reassessed his look at woodchucks and said, wait a minute. I'm kind of retiring them. They were here for a purpose. I'm in the same boat they are. They're ready to go, and I'm retiring them. No, my friends, you will live on. I have no, and it was a wonderful kind of a morality play. Hey, listen, Eric, call me again, my friend.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday.
Same to you, my friend.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Whatever it is we're doing.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you all.
Message.
Hope you have a great holiday and awesome New Year, by the way. So there you go.
Debt is now over $38 trillion.
Thank you for the copies and thank you for the likes.
Savings with something real. Gold.
Thank you.
Sanctuary Metals helps you move a portion of your retirement into physical gold, tax-deferred and penalty-free. Please call 800-801-6487 or just visit sanctuarymetals.com to get your free retirement defense guide. That's sanctuarymetals.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Hello, I'm Marianne Kuharski with Pro-Life Across America. Did you know that a billboard can save a baby's life? When our billboards and radio ads are running, we receive hundreds of calls from those seeking pregnancy information and support. Every caller is connected to a local center offering free ultrasound and confidential counseling. Won't you join us in this life-saving effort? Donate today and help us do more. No gift is too small. That's ProLifeAcrossAmerica.org.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. One Tough Podcast with Bo Dietl.
One person I've been trying to get on the show, his name is Frank Tarantino III. I remember about this Percocet Princess. What was that case all about?
There was a 19-year-old who died in New York City, and we didn't know who he was. We just knew that the 19-year-old had died, so we investigated that. We were able to identify the person that sold the pills, and Sophia Marks was the Percocet Princess, as her social media moniker stated. What we learned about that case, and this is what's really incredible, incredible. This is what we tell parents all the time. It's about proximity, purpose, and persistence. Proximity means when you're around somebody that has knowledge and information that can help you make better decisions, then you're going to refrain from using illicit drugs. So then the purpose is to seek justice, right? Enforce the rule of law. And then the persistence is there's no more persistent person in the world than a mom.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
Here we go. Maybe not. This is the world's longest intro. There we go.
Are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird.
All those sleigh bells.
Is the new bird who sings a love song as we stroll along. Walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build.
Where did the Wonderland come from? I understand the winter part, obviously, but Wonderland. It's a winter wonderland. And this preoccupation with sleighs, bells, popcorn, burning nuts and fire, and stuff that is like, let's stand under the mistletoe. Okay, all right. Sugar plums. By the way, you know a sugar plum is not even a plum? Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? See, what I do is I deconstruct it. Whether you like it or not, I deconstruct it. That's the most important thing in the world. Let's finish off with Donna in Huntington. You're going to love this one. Donna, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
No, I was just going to tell you, when I was growing up in Long Island, my parents had chickens. We had like 30 chickens, so we'd get fresh eggs every morning.
I would imagine, yeah.
And then one time, one of the chickens got sick, and my father cut the head off of one of the chickens.
Yeah.
And it would jump around like it was so traumatizing. And then there was another time
you saw that as a child? You saw this as a child?
Yeah.
This is almost like Planet of the Lambs with Clarice heard the lambs. When you see that chicken running around,
my mother used to grab
it is very disconcerting. Children live
by the neck, and she was swinging around
and because he had chickens,
and snapped the chicken's neck.
So the rats start burrowing right.
And then she would put it down on the floor.
A lot of times my father would sit there with a shotgun
outside
and shoot the rats.
And you would see the chicken convulsing and all that. Oh my God!
I would love to have partied with your father.
Yeah.
I watch on YouTube.
I witnessed that part. Oh my God!
You can hide.
But you know what? We still ate it.
And these air rifles are probably as good, if not better, than a lot of the 22. And they have
I remember that.
night scope or night
She
vision.
snapped the
where
neck.
they turn off all the lights, and you can see the glow of these rats' eyes. And it's the most relaxing thing to hear that noise and they get them right behind the head, and they will, kind of shake around out of some type of post-mortem reaction. But it's a very nice way to dispatch them. I would, and I don't have an aversion to hunting, but I would love to do that. And in the event, Mr. Lee, thank you. Yuri, thank you. Mr. Atwood, thank you. And thank you so much. What a night today. Or morning. Is this morning or night? I don't know.
Well, thank you, Lionel, for the awesome night.
You're going to have a great week. This is the holiday season. See you tomorrow. Don't forget these words, my friends. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That's it.
There you go. Lionel out.
WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the News with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports, and now
Talking the News with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Monday, December 22nd. Your forecast from the 77 ABC Weather Center. Sunshine this morning, some clouds this afternoon, high 38. Tonight and overnight, snow showers, low 34. And then Tuesday, we'll see a mix of rain and snow. Some places, higher elevations, it'll be all snow, the high 37. If you are walking out the door with us right now, it is 27 and clear in Baldwin out on Long Island. It's 24 and clear in Pompton Lakes over in New Jersey. And it's 26 and clear right outside our Midtown studios. If you could hit that top 5 at 5 thing. Do you get that? I can just do it. It's the top 5 at 5. Oh, no, you have it? No? All right, I'll do it. It's the top 5 at 5 with Noam Laden. Okay. Bruce Blakeman weighs in on why Elise Stefanik dropped out of the race for governor. How did a body in the Bronx end up in some scaffolding? Oh, there we go. A New Jersey man freaks out his whole neighborhood with a bow and arrow. Cardinal Dolan dishes on what's next after he steps down. And some smash and grabs on Long Island have been smashingly successful. All right, let's get into it at 5:01. A man found dead yesterday scaffolding outside a Marble Hill NYCHA building in the Bronx. Cops don't know a whole lot about this. We were trying to get more information. Not immediately clear how this man died, how his body ended up in the scaffolding of this building on West 225th Street. Neighbors watched as paramedics and police lowered this body from the scaffolding yesterday.
So it's really disturbing to see this go on over here.
Yes, neighbors watched the wooden pallets stained with blood and the body lying on the ground. They were left to wonder what exactly took place.
It's all bad. Like, I don't like to see people like him. And then for him to have no shoes on out there, he must have been soldiering, sitting there, saluting. That was bad.
Yeah, so cops still don't know exactly what took place. They say it's an ongoing investigation. More details may be on the way a little bit later today. 5:02 with Zohran Mamdani set to become the next mayor in less than 2 weeks. He's letting voters know who he'd like to see in his old New York State Assembly seat.
Mamdani is endorsing Diana Moreno, a fellow Democratic socialist, to fill the seat. In a campaign posting on social media, Moreno says she's running to deliver on Mamdani's affordability agenda. Moreno will have to fight for the seat. Mary Hobaida, Rana Abdelhamid, and Shivani Deer have also declared their candidacies. The seat will be filled in a special election expected to be held in February. I'm Larry Kofsky, NBC News Radio.
3 police officers in the hospital now after a domestic call in Rochester turned deadly.
Police say officers responded to a report that a woman's ex-boyfriend was trying to break into a home where she was with her current boyfriend. The suspect reportedly opened fire as officers arrived, striking 2 and later shooting a 3rd while fleeing. The officers returned fire and killed the suspect. 1 officer is in stable condition, another is in critical but stable following surgery, and a 3rd is in stable with serious injuries. I'm Jim Forbes.
5:03, we were watching over the weekend as they put up those new subway turnstile gates at some more subway stations. This was at the 138th Street 3rd Avenue station. These fare gates that they say will stop riders from jumping the turnstile. And think long, tall glass gates, if you haven't seen them, that open and close to let you in and out of the subway.
Yeah, people run through it.
What was interesting
is
News 12 had its cameras up there, a couple other TV stations as well. And there were people who said that they actually admitted this to the camera, that they had come down into the subway station to jump the turnstile, saw the glass gates and the TV cameras, and then turned away. Said, oh, I guess I got to find another subway station to jump the turnstile.
For people not to hop and stuff like that, this is...
No, I see people run through it. Like,
yeah,
you squeeze 2
so
people.
Far, it doesn't seem anybody, at least this
and then the thing goes off, doesn't matter.
Trial period at a number of subway stations.
Nobody cares.
The system.
So, you know,
you'll see it at every subway station.
You put 2 or 3 people in there. I saw 1 person that had 3 people.
More money was spent on the train.
One and two kids. They went right through.
Yeah, train scheduling.
So that's bullshit.
But, you know, just my
It's not going to prevent that much.
This larger transformation that's happening across the city aimed at stopping fare evasion, which was, what, $900 million in 2024, something outrageous like that. 505, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman touting a major endorsement now in the race for governor.
Blakeman got a nod from President Trump in a post on Truth Social, saying the Long Island politician is MAGA all the way and has the full support of the commander-in-chief. This coming a day after upstate Congresswoman Elise Stefanik announced she is dropping out of the race.
Yeah, anyway,
and will not be seeking re-election to the House. Stefanik maintained she would have won in the primary against Blakeman, but now was just not the right political time.
She was smoking and all that. Now suddenly she just turned quiet.
Second in command, Lieutenant Governor.
Somebody probably caught her in a
WABC News.
You know, compromising position.
We will hear from Bruce.
Because you know what, you know,
and
Elise Stefanik
about Elise Stefanik dropping.
She lost a little weight. She looks fine, bro. She looks fine.
Let's go up to Providence.
So you know what happened? Somebody got her in a good spot. Somebody got her in a good spot and said, yeah, I'm going to expose your ass now.
She's a junior at Brown, sharing her story, saying
you better drop out of this race. And she said, oh my God.
Well, he was found dead in a storage.
I'm going to drop out.
It could have been literally anyone. I mean,
somebody was doing a nasty on her. I'm going to say, because you know what?
Yeah, and you hear
believe it or not, ooh, baby, you had no idea.
Or decided to go home. And they say that mass shooting changed their outlook.
She dropped that weight. Ooh, baby.
There's not much I can do in going
There's some
to school.
potential there.
I have to go to school, but I feel like I'm definitely going to be more on guard.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Asking the FBI now to pay the full reward to the Brown University shooting tipster.
Mayor Mark
Somebody
Smiley made
tap
the
that
request in a letter to FBI Director Tash
on
Patel on
camera.
Friday. Smiley calling the tipster known as John a hero, urging the
There you
agency
go,
to
bro.
pay him the full $50,000 reward.
That's what happened in
Providence police
Stefanik.
hailed the anonymous tipster as being the key to solving the case and identifying the Brown shooting suspect. It's unclear if the FBI will issue the full $50,000 reward. I'm Lisa Carton.
That's what happened.
In a
That's why
moment,
she
we'll
left.
give you the latest on Nick Reiner as he sits
Somebody
behind
silence
bars
that
and
woman.
who is paying for his celebrity
Believe that.
defense lawyer. We'll get into that story in just
That's
a moment.
too sudden.
First, 507, first check of traffic and transit on this early Monday morning. Good morning, Joe Nolan.
Good morning, Nolan. Good morning, everybody. We had a big problem on Staten Island from the WABC traffic desk. If you're westbound on the Staten Island Expressway, getting over to 440, so just before the Goethals Bridge, you've got an accident there. Apparently, all lanes are going to be closed because of the accident investigation. So the westbound Staten Island Expressway is shut down as you come away from the Verrazano Bridge, getting over to the Goethals Bridge, and you've got quite a bit of slow traffic, as you would imagine, getting through there. Now, elsewhere, we have another problem. This one up in the Bronx, it is really jammed up. As
She
you
got
come
big.
across the Bronx Expressway, coming up to the major
Stefanik got
a
big.
left lane accident there.
And
then
somebody
further
tapped
over
it.
around the Sheridan. Another one has the left
And
lane
they caught it on
accident. There's two
film.
trucks involved and delays there. Go
And they
back
told
almost,
her,
to Jerome Avenue.
you
So
run,
almost have one big one
I'm
on
going
the
to
left,
publish
a little
this
bit of a
shit.
gap. But
And that's what happened. And she said, oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to drop out.
Over to the Sheridan. This is Bronx is good. No problems in
You know what happened? Something crazy happened to her. How can you just drop out when you're the favorite?
New Jersey Transit trains, they might
Come
still have
on,
possible
bro.
service
Come
failures
on.
due to ongoing investigations.
Come on,
Friday,
bro. You know what happened?
incident
Somebody
involving
tapped
the two
that
trains near Bay Street
on
the
film.
Montclair Boonton line. We'll have to wait
That's
to
what
see how
happened.
that folds out. And everybody else, though, right now.
That's what happened. Believe me.
I'm Joe Nolan with traffic on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 509. 8 days after Director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were allegedly murdered by their son, neighbors in their Brentwood neighborhood continue to reflect on what took place.
Boy. You
And, he cared. He really cared about the community and about the people.
someone there talking about Rob Reiner. Reiner was instrumental in the successful effort to make sure same-sex couples had the right to marry. Some people talking about that in the neighborhood. In the late 1990s, he championed early childhood education. Celebrity defense attorney Alan Jackson, he is representing Nick Reiner, Rob and Michelle's son, for the murder case, and his services are likely to come at a very high price.
The exact figure remains unclear, but legal experts have speculated his full cost in a murder trial of this scale could reach into the millions. Reiner hired the famed attorney just days into his legal battle as he faces charges for the murder of his father, Hollywood director Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle. Jackson has defended Karen Reed twice, as well as Hollywood A-listers like Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein. In Los Angeles, I'm Michael Kastner.
While we're out west, the West Coast is bracing for this major winter storm.
Forecasters say an atmospheric river will impact Southern California during Christmas week, bringing heavy rain, strong winds, and dangerous travel conditions. The National Weather Service warns the duration of this storm raises the risk of flooding and mudslides, with road and airport delays expected during one of the busiest holiday travel periods. I'm Lisa Carton.
WABC News Time 510.
30 seconds into flight.
Now you can note the speed and altitude graphics there at the bottom of your screen.
Blue Origin making history with the first ever launch of a wheelchair user on a suborbital flight. Aerospace engineer Mickey Benthouse and her 5 crewmates, they lifted off from the company's West Texas launch site over the weekend. Benthouse, who works for the European Space Agency, has used a wheelchair since suffering a mountain biking accident. That was back in 2018. The brief flight, it lasted about 10 minutes, reached an altitude of about 62 miles before the crew capsule safely parachuted back to Earth. Out to Washington State, where Governor Bob Ferguson mobilizing the National Guard to monitor the levee system for potential weaknesses. This is after just more than a week of flooding there, and they're worried that these levees may not hold.
The experts we have been speaking with make it clear that there has been historic stress on the system. The sheer number of days and the sheer amount of water is historic.
Yeah, the flooding just so intense. Ferguson mobilizing 100 National Guard members. 50 of those people will help monitor the levees around the clock. They continue to do so.
The risk of a breach is still real. This is an extremely unpredictable situation. 50 of those National Guard members will be made available to help patrol the levees. Eyes on the levee at all times.
512, let's bring it back home. Luigi Mangione lawyers are calling for Attorney General Pam Bondi to recuse herself from the murder trial.
In filings on Friday, they claim Bondi has a profound conflict of interest due to her ties to a lobbying firm that represents United Healthcare. The defense attorneys argue that Bondi's past and present financial interest in Ballard Partners violates Mangione's due process rights. Mangione's defense team also wants prosecutors barred from seeking the death penalty in the case, along with some evidence and statements thrown out. A hearing to discuss these issues is scheduled for January 9th. I'm Rob Martier.
512, homicide detectives investigating after a 76-year-old woman was found murdered in a lower Manhattan apartment.
Investigators say it happened at the Knickerbocker Village complex on the Lower East Side. The victim was found unconscious, and there were signs of trauma to the head and body. A neighbor tells ABC7 there was a fight going on inside the apartment the night before she was found. No word if the woman lived alone, but the neighbor said the community is gated and you have to press a buzzer to be let into the building. I'm Lisa Salvati.
And we'll hear more from some of the neighbors and people who knew the victim coming up after 5:30. Talks between the U.S. and Russia to end the war in Ukraine currently underway in Miami.
Russian President Vladimir Putin's special envoy met Saturday with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner. Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev told reporters the talks were positive and will continue. President Trump's envoys have been negotiating for weeks for a 20-point peace plan in Ukraine. U.S. officials say differences remain on issues of territory and security guarantees for Ukraine, which was invaded by Russia. I'm Michael Kastner.
513 rapper Nicki Minaj making a surprise appearance at Turning Point USA's America Fest yesterday. Nicki joined Erica Kirk on stage yesterday to bash California Governor Gavin Newsom and praise President Trump, at one point throwing out advice to the crowd to don't be new scum, is the word she used.
Dear young men, you have
amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Minaj says she has the utmost respect and admiration for President Trump.
You have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
Meanwhile, the widow of Charlie Kirk endorsing J.D. Vance for president in 2028.
Erica Kirk made the endorsement ahead of today's keynote speech by Vance at the Turning Point USA America Fest event in Arizona. Kirk said, quote, "We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected in the most resounding way possible." Vance has not officially launched a bid for the presidency yet, but has left the door open. I'm Lisa Carton.
WABC News Time 5:15. A little sports. Justin Alex got the day off, but here's Rhonda Moss with a Sports Minute.
Drake May threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to help the Patriots rally beat the Ravens 28-24 to clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2021. Lamar Jackson left in the second quarter with a back injury. May and the team refusing to give up.
Yeah, so proud of this team, man. Took everybody. That's what we knew coming into it. You know, our Golden Sneakers win together. Man, it was together. It felt good getting that one. Just props to these guys. You know, keep fighting.
Steelers held on, beat the Lions 29-24, now lead the AFC North by 2 games over the Ravens. With the Lions' loss, the Bears and Niners, who play the Colts tonight, have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Jags ended the Broncos' 11-game win streak. Texans beat the Raiders for their 7th straight win. Sit a game back of the Jags for first in the AFC South. Panthers beat the Bucs, take over sole possession of first place in the NFC South. In baseball, the Red Sox acquired first baseman Wilson Contreras from the Cardinals. That's sports. I'm Ron Moss.
Yeah, and the Jets, they fell to 3-11 after they got crushed by the Saints. 29-6 on the road in New Orleans. Gang Green now has the 4th pick in the draft, and I guess that's what it's all about since nothing's happening for this season. They'll host the Patriots next Sunday. The Giants, they lost to the Vikings 16-13 out at MetLife. Jackson Dart threw for just 33 yards and an interception. The 2-13 Giants still hold the top pick in April's draft. They'll visit the Raiders on Sunday. The Knicks took down the Heat 132-125 out at the Garden. Jalen Brunson, he had 47 points. New York has actually won 8 of its 9 last games. They'll visit Minnesota tomorrow. The Nets, they crushed the Raptors 96-81 out of Barclays. Michael Porter Jr. led all scorers, 24 points. Brooklyn, who has won 2 of 3, they'll visit the 76ers in Philly tomorrow. Rangers lost to the Predators in Nashville. New York will visit the Capitals tomorrow night. And the Devils, they fell to the Sabres 3-1 at home. Jack Hughes scored the lone goal about halfway through the first period. New Jersey had a 2-game winning streak come to an end last night. All right, 5:17 now. Traffic, transit on the 7th. Here's Joe Nolan.
WABC Traffic Desk. We got some good news on Staten Island. That accident had been there a while, the westbound side, coming up to Route 440, Martin Luther King Jr. Expressway. Again, that has now been cleared. All lanes have been reopened, and things are moving pretty well now westbound on the Staten Island Expressway. Not the case, though, up in the Bronx. First of all, if you're traveling out onto the Major Deegan Express, right at the Major Deegan Expressway on the Cross Bronx, an accident. The left lane is out. Tractor-trailer is there, and again, the car has left the scene. Apparently, it was a tractor-trailer car accident at one point. So, again, as you travel that whole area, you're going to have some problems. And then, further east, you have a 2-truck accident over by the Sheridan. So, trouble up there on the Cross Bronx. So, that wants to keep a very close eye. And it is all jammed up as you come off of the George Washington Bridge. Now, you're also looking at delays now as you begin to head inbound on the Long Island Expressway. Just a little slowed down right around the area of the Cross Island Parkway. Rest of Long Island looks very good. That includes Brooklyn and Queens. Really nothing you have to worry about if you're coming northbound on Route 9. A lot of heavy traffic just as you get up through Route 34 this morning, and then also some slow go as you travel on the Garden State Parkway up around the area of 145. No big deal at all as you come inbound at the Hudson River crossings, at least so far. Same thing up at the Tappan Zee Bridge. We're looking good up in Connecticut. Mass transit-wise, we do have some minor subway issues on the N, the D, and the F. And also, don't forget that we are going to continue, possibly, have service changes on the Montclair Boonton line because of Friday's incident with 2 trains by Bay Street banged into one another. And mass transit, everybody else, though, running on or close to schedule on the commuter rails. I'm Joe Nolan with traffic on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 519. Let's go down to D.C. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries accusing Republican lawmakers of not being serious about health care as Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire at the end of the year.
Republicans have been burying their heads in the sand for the last several months. Meanwhile, tens of millions of Americans are on the brink of experiencing dramatically increased health insurance premiums if the Affordable Care Act tax credits are not extended.
It comes after House Republicans narrowly passed the bill that does not extend the expiring subsidies. The measure now heads to the Senate, where it's not expected to pass, leaving millions of Americans facing higher health care premiums in the new year.
House Democrats are going to continue to fight to get this extension through the Congress on our side. It will pass with a bipartisan majority.
Now, President Trump has stood behind the decision by the House GOP not to extend those Affordable Care Act subsidies. Meanwhile, the president announcing new deals that will lower drug prices. The president joined by executives from pharmaceutical companies who have agreed to the administration's most favored nation pricing initiative.
Whatever the lowest number is, if it's Germany, if it's in UK, anywhere, we will match that price.
Drug costs have been a focal point for the president since he returned to office.
They've agreed to offer many of their flagship drugs, really all of their flagship drugs, at heavily discounted, most favored nations prices.
Earlier this year, the president announced the creation of Trump RX, which is a website where Americans can find prescription drugs at reduced prices. That website is expected to launch sometime early in the new year. While we're down in D.C., Capitol Hill lawmakers closing out the year by tackling what they're calling an affordability crisis. House Democrats pushing a broad tax relief package that, among other things, addresses housing.
We're trying to create a 21st century housing boom that will rival what we saw after World War II.
California Congressman Jimmy Gomez there. The American Affordability Act from Democrats includes strengthening the low-income housing tax credit, providing more tax help for first-time buyers, and adds a plan to convert vacant offices into housing.
And if we do that, we'll bend the cost curve on housing and make America more affordable.
Affordability, of course, is the key word these days.
More people are trying to buy a home, but then instead of buying it in their late 20s or early 30s, are buying it in their 40s.
Yeah, Democrats, though, not detailing how they'll pay for those programs. President Trump's Gold Card foreign visa program, it's up and running. The program